Hi, it's Sharon. I'm going to show you how to pick up the purl bump marker, pocket marker stitches on Samantha. And as you can see, I've created some purl bumps to show you to make the pocket in the right place on both sides. And if you look closely, there's an upper and a lower line of purl bumps. Here's the upper line, here's the lower line. I'm going to pick up from the lower line, coming from the top down, in, up, around, in, up, around. I kind of am going in between the two upper bumps into that lower one. Up, around. I'm picking them up without yarn. I'm just getting them on my needle. Up, around, in, up, around. Always coming down from the top, up, around, again I'm going through from the top down, up, around. And the nice thing about these marker stitches is you get a nice straight row for that first row. So now I'm going to show you, I've just done a few of them, now I'm going to show you the textured stitch that is used on the short side pockets on your Samantha bag. Ooh, this is hard to do with the whole thing hanging off. I should have had a table, but I don't. Okay, what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to knit across the row. This short row that I've done. So, knitting across, I don't know how many stitches I picked up, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then I'm going to just turn my work and purl back those 9 stitches, and then on the next row I'm going to start the textured stitch. It's just a little tricky when you read it to figure it out. So in my She Knits fashion, I thought I would make a video and show it. Okay, so on the knit rows of the textured pocket, the textured stitch, for the short side or the sides of the bag pocket, whoa, okay, I keep bumping, sorry about that little ting ting. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, on the knit rows, the way you work it is you skip the first stitch, there's my first stitch, knit into the back loop, kind of using my left hand finger to manipulate, into the back loop of the second stitch, wrap my yarn, pull my needle through, but don't slip anything off. Instead, I let go of my working yarn again to extend that stitch a little bit so it's not so tight, so I can then put the needle in the first stitch. So I have that second stitch loop on my needle, then I put it into the first stitch the regular way and wrap and knit them both off together. Again, skip the first stitch, go into the back loop of the second stitch, wrap, bring my needle through, let go, extend that stitch a little, then I go into the first stitch and knit it off. But I didn't mean to slide that off, or did I? Yes, I did. Okay, again, next 2 stitches, skip the first, go into the in between the stitches into the back loop of the second, wrap, bring it through the center of the 2 stitches, extend the loop a little, then I knit through the first stitch, knitting the regular way, wrap, and I'm going to be sliding 2 stitches off. One more time, 2 more times. Skip the first into the second, into the back loop, so through the center of those 2 stitches to the back loop of the second, wrap, bring it through the center of those 2 stitches, keep it on the needle, bring that tip through the front, regular knit fashion wise, wrap, and then I'm going to scoot 2 stitches, one is on one side, one is here, off, and here's the last one, skip the first into the back loop, circle, come through the center of those 2 stitches, go through regular wise on that first stitch, wrap, and both of them come off. Then on the purl rows, you always purl the first stitch just plain. So just purl, and then you're purling just normally. Skip the first, purl the second, keep it on the needle, purl the first, sliding 2 loops off. 1, 2. Skip the first, purl normally into the second, wrap, come up, keep it on the needle, purl the first stitch, bring it off, 2 loops, skip the first into the second, wrap, keep it on the needle, come to the first, in, 2 off, and once more into the second stitch, regularly as if to purl, keep it on the needle, and there's your first, sliding 2, and you have 1 left over at the end, you purl it. Let's see if we can see any kind of pattern. Maybe a little, but I'll show you a finished one. So spoiler alert, this is what your textured stitch pocket will look like. Isn't that beautiful? Want to see a cabled pocket? Spoiler alert, I'm going to show you a cabled pocket. Isn't it pretty? There's those wraps at the top. Okay, and that's it.